Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, Jack Johnson, Sugar Ray Robinson. The list goes on. Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank. The list could go on of your favorite fighters from around the world that have legendary status either in their country or around the world. This is BWTM Sports. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. I'll explain why after this. One man's dream has become a reality. You see, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. If you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe to the channel. Do like and hit the subscribe button and share the video. So for those of you who don't know, I am good friends with Damon Feldman. David Feldman is the man behind Celebrity Boxing. So if you've ever seen any of those celebrity boxing shows, well, he's the guy who runs it. He's behind it. Right? So you get celebrities to fight against one another. So it's been going on for many years. And sort of like now the UK have kind of taken it on using YouTubers, a similar sort of concept, but embarrassingly so. At least, you know, with some of the celebrity boxing shows, fights you've seen Shaq, the basketball player versus Oscar De La Hoya, Shaq versus Sugar Shane Mosley. Go and look at those fights. They were good fights, fun fights, good fights to watch. And you knew what it was. You knew exactly what it was. You knew it was a basketball player against a former world champion or a world champion. It was never built to be anything else than what it is. I use Damon Feldman's name because he does celebrity boxing. To my left is the father of Tyson Fury, John Fury. Good evening, John. A gentleman who I've sat next to, a gentleman that I would never have thought would have been doing things like this over the top rope. I never thought it was within him to do this. The anger, the constant anger and rage that John has. I don't know what BT Sports will think of this. I don't know. I said, if you keep on allowing him to get away with what he's getting on, he's going to further keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing the boundaries until something gets out of hand. So far, things have been bad, but I mean, a lot of people kind of laugh and joke it off, but this, I mean, how much more leeway you can be giving John Fury? I understand Fury's trying to keep up with the Fury name and stuff, but my concern is boxing's become WWE circus. I said this, I must have said this about 2 years ago, and people laughed at me. I said the boxing was going to become a circus. I could see the circus going. When I saw Eddie Hearn and Barry Hearn, the way they were moving, they remind me of Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon. And true to my word, what are we doing now? What have they presented to us? The Misfits. And let's look at the Misfits. This gentleman here, Darum, I think his name is, a former American football player. This is a guy actually throwing a punch. He's not being hit with a punch. He's throwing a punch. It's a 4-second video that's gone viral. Right? Series 3 of the Misfits. This guy was fighting with his chin in the air, absolutely no boxing fundamentals, and could get seriously hurt. Do people not understand that you can't just have a go in boxing, right? If you want to have a go, wear a head guard, put a gum shield on, and go and do some amateur boxing. Don't go in a professional ring and do this. It's an embarrassment. It is dangerous. It brings the sport into very, very murky waters, because you basically, literally, there's nothing stopping right now somebody literally being pulled out of the audience into the ring to have a fight. Literally, there is nothing now stopping the man on the street saying, I can beat, like, I remember back in the day, my dad thought he could beat Evander Holyfield. He could beat Mike Tyson. He could beat this person. He could beat that person. Well, that's what my dad thought. You know, you've always got dads that speak like, he's not a very good fighter. I could do this. I could do that. You've probably heard your dad or your uncle or your granddad say this stuff. And yeah, everyone thinks they can have a go until they literally get in the ring and realize how difficult it actually is, a sport. And for this situation right here, what we've got here is people having a go. If you want to have a go, do some amateur boxing. You should not be in a professional ring taking fights and you've got no boxing fundamentals. This guy here, DeMoor, had no boxing fundamentals whatsoever. Should not be in a boxing ring. What makes it more dangerous is the guy that he was fighting had better boxing fundamentals. That's where you get hurt. And then some of these guys I'm seeing now, they're not even fit. They're not even fit to fight. There was one fight guy who fought on the card, and he wasn't fit. He was blowing out his ass from right the second round. And they had to stop the fight because he was exhausted. And these guys are on television saying they're boxers. What would Muhammad Ali think of these people? The great Sugar Ray Robinson or Joe Louis or Rocky Marciano. What would these guys be thinking of this nonsense? And you're thinking about guys, professional fighters that are on small hall shows, that are earning next to nothing, fighting to look after their families. And you've got these guys who are making money of the sport and they have zero qualification. And you see, I've said it now, the way boxing's been run now, as far as I'm concerned, it's only a matter of time before we have a situation where the sport either gets shut down or it's so disgusting that people have to get seriously suspended because this cannot carry on. As far as I can see, whether it be sports reporters, boxing reporters, novice reporters, amateur reporters, who are more interested in meeting their heroes than asking proper questions. People who are not prepared to do the right training and get fit to fight. People without boxing fundamentals. Trainers who are not qualified to be training people. The sport is on a downhill spiral. And when you've got people like John Fury, who look like they should be more in a doing wrestling, then they should be boxing. And if John Fury wants to be fighting people, I can always reach out to Damon Feldman and try and get that fight for him to fight somebody in the celebrity boxing. But I tell you something now, if a fight ever happens for John Fury, I hope to God that he's able to back up his words and fight, because if he gets chinned on national television, that will be the end of that. I don't like it at all. The fact that there's a possibility that this guy, John Fury, could be actually getting in the ring and fighting. I mean, you know, he's pulling his fist out to Jake Paul. Jake Paul, listen, Tommy Fury, if Tommy Fury really believed he could beat Jake Paul, honestly believed in Jake Paul, that fight would have happened already. Believe you me, I don't believe you can beat Jake Paul. And coming in way overweight for a fight against the American opponent is disgusting. It's uncalled for, unprofessional. And if you have to be fighting guys at super middleweight and coming in at cruiserweight, that says it all. You have to call a spade for what it is. And let me ask this question. What would John Fury think of the guy on the right there, the room? And the bigger question is, what would he think if he saw himself on BT Sports? How could he explain himself? This whole John Fury thing, I'm telling you, if it's not checked soon by Frank Warren, if it's not checked soon, it is going to spiral out of control and it's going to cost BT Sports Mark my words. You see, I already warned you all about boxing and the sport going into WWE realms. If this guy Darum can get in the ring and fight and be allowed to fight, if this guy can get in the ring and be allowed to fight, then I'm afraid to say that there is no because it's clear to see that these fights weren't in England, were they? I believe they were in Dubai, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. But if I'm wrong, I could be wrong. But this fight here should not have been condoned. It should not have been allowed. And if Dubai is a new place where people can go and box and get a license to box and do whatever they want, which seems to be the case with Tommy Fury, that seems to be, it's blown over. It's blown up now that that border control can allow people to do what they want when they like, how they feel. Then I'm afraid to say that when they go to Dubai, you know what's going on. Whether it be juicing, whether it be a referee turning a blind eye, weigh-ins, all the rest of it, got contracts being switched. It's not on. And, you probably expected me to talk about this. I'm talking about now. It is unacceptable. And every John Fury is an embarrassment. It is unacceptable. I don't care if your name is Fury or not. It's just unacceptable. I think that you've got to call things for what they are, regardless of a person's name is Golovkin, Ali, Tyson, Mayweather. If things are not all right, they're not right. And personality should not come into it. If things are not right, they're not right. And these two things right here are not right. They're not right at all. God forbid that those security was not there and John Fury was allowed to just step over the ropes and go to Jake Paul and attack Jake Paul. Would that be, where would that lead? Where would that situation lead to? Where would that situation lead to? We've already seen on this channel James El Bashir being hit over the head, and he's been hit over the head with a dangerous object, and his head hitting concrete, flat, face down, by a member of public. We've seen that already. How much more do we have to see to understand that these things are unacceptable? Totally unacceptable. And people were laughing at Deontay Wilder the other night where he was crying about a guy who had been seriously injured in boxing. Hi, Barry. I hope you're well. People laughing at Deontay Wilder for crying about a guy who had been seriously injured and the dangers of the sport. And then we have this guy, Darum, in the ring, being allowed to box. Look, don't get me wrong. I found the Misfits show highly entertaining. I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm not being a hypocrite here. I found it highly entertaining, but all for the wrong reasons, because boxing is not delivering. The best fights in the world are not happening. And the last best card I saw, to be honest, was when Savannah Marshall fought Clarissa Shields. That was the best show I've seen. Entertainment-wise, top boxing, well presented. That was the best boxing show I'd seen in a very long time. Excitement. The Misfits show was last Saturday, I believe. It was in Dubai. I believe it was in Dubai. I've been away. I've been doing a lot of stuff on the cricket channel. So yeah, do check that out when you get a chance. But this is not on. And anybody, I'd like people who are in the comment section, please do comment of when I did mention this thing. I'm sure there are people that will know when I commented and said that boxing was going to WWE route. It has happened. It has arrived. Now listen to my words and listen to my words carefully. This sport is out of control. From a journalistic point of view, it's only a matter of time before a boxer puts his fist through the face of a journalist or an amateur journalist. It is because they're only going for views that are disrespectful, and they're not asking the right questions. And even when they do ask the right questions, some of them are disrespectful. 2, people being allowed to box and they have no boxing fundamentals with them, and allowed to go into professional boxing, unacceptable. People being able to do exactly what John Fury is doing here, totally unacceptable. You know, there's a difference between banter and selling a fight and this. Well, I guess Tony Bellew did do something similar. He did kick off after seeing David Haye ringside. If John Fury is trying to promote himself into being, you know, a boxer, a retired boxer making a comeback, and he's trying to get himself all that advertisement, well, he's going about it the right way. But is he a commentator? And is this what BT would consider a representative of the sport? Because every time you're on TV, even myself now as a pundit on national television, if I was caught doing stuff like this, I'd be sent off straight away. So you can't do that. You can't be acting like that and be a pundit for BT Sports. Or maybe BT Sports are saying, hey, well, I don't know. I guess that's just me, but I think the whole thing is as I said, unacceptable. Don't care what your name is, it's unacceptable. So good evening, Marilu. Hope that you're well. So yeah, that's it. Want to know what your thoughts are? Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments in the comment section. It'll be interesting to hear what the Americans think of this, because obviously they have seen it before, and what they make of John Fury. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they think, because of course I do like the American perspective. I do like to hear what the Americans think of what we're doing over here in the UK, what they think of the Misfits show. It would be nice to see what they have to say. Do you like Zack versus Ryder fight? I like John Ryder. We'll see how good Zach Parker is. Are you doing another live now? I've just finished doing a live. I did a live on White versus Franklin, so check that video out as well. So I hope you enjoy the video, and yeah, I'll be trying to do some more. Looking forward to getting my FIFA 23 at some point, and get not only FIFA 23 but Football Manager 23, and do some lives on that as well. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more time soon to dedicate to those things. All right, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching BWTM Sports. Always stay good, stay cool, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.